जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम गुड मॉर्निंग नमस्ते how are you my dear students hopefully you all will enjoying a good health today we are going to discuss the importance of Kc equilibrium constant equilibrium constant we have discussed in a previous lecture that it is a ratio between the molar concentration of products and a molar concentration of reactants and this ratio is known as a constant that is called the equilibrium constant which is usually represented by Kc. Today we are going to discuss the importance of Kc in a chemical reaction. If we know the value of Kc of any chemical reaction, what we can have benefits by knowing its value of that particular reaction. So today we are going to explain all these important facts about the chemical equilibrium constant. It is said that chemical reaction equilibrium constant helps in a two ways for the chemists who are calculating the Kc of any chemical reaction. It can help them in a two ways. First of all, what we can get from by knowing the value of Kc. First of all, we can get the prediction of a direction of a reaction. We can predict that at a particular time the reaction will either will be proceeding in a forward direction or it will be proceeding in a reverse direction at that particular moment. We can tell that by knowing the value of Kc. Another important fact about the Kc value is that can by knowing the value of Kc we can predict the extent of a reaction. We will explain it. What is the extent of a reaction, dear students? First of all, you should know that when we predict the direction of a chemical reaction, we should have a Kc and also we should have another constant that is called reaction quotient. Reaction quotient is another constant that is obtained by taking a ratio between the products and reactants and their molar concentrations before a reaction reaches to a chemical equilibrium stage. It means before reaching a chemical equilibrium stage, we can have a ratio between the molar concentration of products and reactants and that ratio will be known as a reaction quotient. Remember, Kc is a ratio between products and the reactants molar concentration when the reaction is at equilibrium stage, and if the reaction is not at equilibrium stage, then we can if we get the ratio between the products and reactants molar concentration, then it will be not a Kc, it will be a Qc, that is the reaction quotient. So you should differentiate between the Qc and Kc values. Now we can have the reaction quotient definition. Definition is a value obtained by putting concentration of products and reactants before equilibrium stage. Means the reaction is not gone to equilibrium stage, and before that if we have calculated the ratio between the products and reactants molar concentration, then what will be the ratio? What will we say it? We will say it that it is a reaction quotient. It is a ratio that is called reaction quotient. By knowing the value of reaction quotient and Kc and Qc, we can predict the direction of a chemical reaction. Dear students, there are three possibilities through which we can calculate the prediction of a chemical reaction. The first possibility is that if the Qc value is smaller than a Kc value, means Kc value is a large value and that value we have got the Qc value that is a small. Example, if a reaction has a say Kc value is 57 and its Qc value is just 8, so it means its Qc value is smaller than its Kc value. So what will this predict? It will predict that the reaction will be moving in a forward direction. Reaction will be moving from a reactants to products. Reactants will be converting into products in a faster rate then the products will be converting into reactants. So this small value of Qc indicates that reaction is proceeding in a forward direction. If QC value is larger than a Kc value, so that it will indicate that the reaction contains more products and less reactants. To get the equilibrium stage, the products will be converting into reactions in a faster rate, and the reaction will be proceeding in a reverse direction when the QC value is larger than a Kc value. And the question is, if the QC and Kc value are equal, almost equal, what we can get the prediction about the direction of the reaction? Dear students, we can get the prediction that the rate of forward reaction at that particular moment is almost equal to the rate of reverse direction, as the QC and Kc value are getting closer to each other. It means the reaction is near to equilibrium stage. Then the next important fact about the Kc is that the extent of a reaction. Extent of reaction means, as I have told earlier, extent of reaction means before establishing a chemical equilibrium stage, how much reactants were converted to products. Only a small value of reactants were converted into products, or very large amount of reactants were converted to products before getting to equilibrium stage. This is called the extent of a reaction. Extent of reaction can be calculated by three ways. The first is the large value of Kc. If we have a reaction and its Kc value is very large, like 2CO plus O2 in a reversible reaction goes into 2CO2, and its Kc value is 2.2 into 10 raised power 22. It means it is a very large value. And what is the mean of very large value? It means that much of the products are converted, much of the products are formed during this reaction, and very less reactants are left behind, and this reaction nearly gone to completion. If it continues for 2 or 3 minutes or 5 or 10 minutes, it means it could have gone to a completion before, and we can say that a reaction was nearly going to complete. This is the meaning of very large value of Kc. And if the value of Kc is very small, it means that the reaction has gone to equilibrium stage very fastly at once. When the reaction started, it gone to a equilibrium stage, and very small amount of reactants were converted into products. It means that the equilibrium mixture, what will it have? It will have a reactants and very less amount of products, because the reaction started and at once it went to the equilibrium stage. It means the products were formed in a very small amount, and there were large amount of reactants that were left behind. And this reaction will contain much reactants, less products. And the one fact about this type of reactions which have a small value of Kc means they will never go to complete, because there are reactants and very small products. This reaction will go never to completion. This is the meaning of a very small value of Kc. Example of this, 2NH3 in a reversible reaction goes into N2 plus 3H2, and its Kc value is 3 into 10 raised power minus 9. The power minus 9 means it is a very small value of Kc, and such type of reaction will never go to completion. The third option is the Kc value is neither small nor large, like dinitrogen oxide in a reversible reaction forms 2NO, and its Kc value is 0.211. What does it mean? It means that the reaction mixture contains comparable amounts of reactants and products. Before getting equilibrium stage, the reaction reasonably processed from reactants to products, and similarly products were converted into reactants. Therefore comparable amounts are present both of reactants and products. It is the meaning of the value of Kc, which is neither large not small. This is the second point about the importance of Kc, extent of a chemical reaction. The summary of today's topic is that by knowing the value of Kc, we can have two important facts. We can know the prediction of direction of a reaction. We can have an extent of a reaction. If Qc value is smaller than Kc value, the reaction will proceed in a forward direction. If Qc value is larger than Kc value, reaction will proceed in a reverse direction. If Qc and Kc are equal, it means the reaction is near to equilibrium stage. And second, extent of reaction, large value means much products are formed, less reactants are left, and the reaction nearly goes to completion. And a small value of Kc means much reactants, less products, and reaction will never go to complete. And neither small nor large means the reaction mixture will contain comparable amounts of reactants and products. Dear students, hopefully you have got the idea of importance of Kc. In the next video, we will come with another topic. Till then, take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.